What's happening, guys? It is Ben's Fishing, aka Aaron Benzrihem, here back for another right angler how-to video. And today we are going to be showcasing the right angler premium net. This is a 1/4 inch mesh that I have. It's 1 pound per foot of lead weight, and it's absolutely incredible material. The rope is incredible, it doesn't tangle easily, and I'm going to be showing you how to catch mullet. Live mullet are some of the most prolific and widely used bait in Florida and actually all across the eastern part of the United States. You can find mullet as far north as New Jersey. So catching mullet can be a daunting task, and there's several ways to catch them. We're going to be trying to cover most of those ways, and if we don't, we'll follow up with another episode. But today our main objective is to find them and to catch them and to show them to you. So mullet are going to be, in my opinion, in 3 different areas the majority of the time. They're going to be on flats and shallow water areas near the shoreline. So cruising the shoreline is an absolutely amazing way to catch mullet. They can be in residential canals in deeper water depending on the water quality and temperature, and they can be off of beaches. So right now, during this time of year in Florida, we just had a cold front. As you can see, I'm bundled up. It's currently 58 degrees. So what does that mean? The water temperature has dropped substantially. So where would the mullet go in colder water temperatures? They're gonna go deeper and into residential canals where they find more stagnant water with less wind because the water temperature hasn't fluctuated as much there. So we're gonna go try and shoot over to a residential canal, see if we can find some there. And if we can't find some there, as the sun gets higher in the sky, because it's currently only 9 a.m., they're gonna start moving on the flats, and they're gonna just be soaking on shallow water areas because that'll be the warmer water area. And in Florida here, they like that. So objective, get some mullet, showcase this net. This is my favorite net for anything, and particularly mullet, because the material is so easy to open, the rope never tangles, which is important, and it constantly catches me more mullet than any other cast net. It's also very light in relation to mullet, so if I have to hop out of the boat, which is another method to catch fish, and cruise a sandbar for miles scouring it for mullet, this is the net that I choose. We have a heavier net at Right Angler, and while I think it can be a better net in certain circumstances for mullet, this is the one I use because mullet can be so hard to catch. You never know if you're going to throw once or 50 times. So let's do this. Let's get into the video. Alright guys, so we're coming into the creek mouth of a huge residential canal, and right now the tide is outgoing, meaning it's coming towards me, so we're going to go against it. First thing I'm going to do is put my wristband on always so we don't lose the net. Now I have the luxury of having a polling platform. If you don't have a polling platform, you're going to probably want to throw off at the bow, but I like to throw off the platform just because it gives me increased visibility. So we have a video on how to open any cast net, and in that video I discuss exactly how I throw. I can do it quickly, but basically I grab about 5-6 inches below, this is with 8 to 12 foot nets, below the, let me anchor myself here. I grab about 5 to 6 inches below the coil here, and then after that I'm going to want to straighten the net like so, and then I'm going to grab another 2 to 4 feet down depending on the size of the net and hand it to the hand coiling the rope. So I have everything in the left hand. Okay, and so then I'm going to grab another 2 to 3 feet down, and I'm also going to hand that to the hand that's coiling the rope here, like so. So now I have all this net and all this rope in my left hand. Now that's because I'm a righty and I like to throw with my right hand. Now again, we have a long video on this. It did really well. Lots of people have commented that it's a great cast net video where I spend 20 minutes telling you exactly how I throw to the T, but this is a quick synopsis. Now I'm going to take the lead weights. This is a method of throwing that I don't ever have to put the weights in my mouth. A lot of people put the weights in your mouth. I personally don't like doing that. The water's not always the best, and you definitely don't want it near your teeth and your gums. So I put this right here over my left shoulder, and then I'm going to throw about half of the net around my right shoulder, and this is what I call loaded. So now I'm loaded and I'm ready to throw, but I have one more step before I can actually toss the net. This is how I drive around in relation to mullet and look for mullet. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to troll. If you don't have a trolling motor, you can use your regular motor, but then you'll have to stand loaded at the helm. I do it quite often. I haven't always had a troller, and I also haven't always had a point platform, but right now I'm basically just trolling around, and a lot of mullet, regardless of the depth, can be found on the surface, or the occasional mullet will jump or flicker on the surface. Fun fact about mullet, scientists don't know why they jump as frequently as they do. They think it's because they're trying to get rid of some of the parasites on their body. They also, if you can't see them underneath the water, you can see their heads underneath the water. So anyways, the moral of the story is that mullet will frequently expose themselves. If you can't see the mullet, which has been a common theme here because our water temperatures have been so low, one of the best ways to get mullet is this is a very big luxury, but if you have side scan. I get more questions about utilizing side scan to find mullet than anything. There's mullet here to the right, so. I got one.
Got a leaf. Oh, you got one. One.
Oh my god, I got so many more.
Oh, nice. You got like 4.
Guys, it's tough out here today. It's crazy tough out here. So guys, right now we've got about a dozen mullet in the live well, and that's just how it is sometimes. When we get these cold fronts, like I said, the most common question I get asked when I film a live mullet video on my personal channel or write articles or whatever it is as far as content creation, where'd you get your mullet? How'd you get mullet? And as you can see, somebody who I consider myself very experienced in getting mullet, obviously I'm a little constrained with where I launched. Like, there's some areas I think I could run to and get more mullet. There's definitely a lot more mullet in the healthier water and estuaries like the intercoastal waterways, but I don't have the luxury to run over there today. It's a far run, so you know, we got ourselves about a dozen beautiful pristine mullet. I'll show you guys here. But it's not easy, guys, you know. That's honestly, this is a better video and a better representation of mullet fishing, and what I think is better for the audience to see than if I just came out here and whacked a whole net full. Because while that can happen sometimes during spring mullet runs or during the fall mullet run, the realistic thing is that most of the year they're very hard bait to catch. So as you can see, today was an absolute grind. We just continued trolling around for hours and throwing and throwing and throwing as I watched my side scan, just hoping to see a big school. But no matter where I went or what I did, whether it was a flat or a canal, nothing. We even went to some of the healthier estuaries with some bluer water like you see here, and while we would get the occasional mark, it was just a hopeless endeavor. So we went back to the canal and continued to throw, and it just never panned out for us on this day in particular. Here's a clip from another day though, where I absolutely loaded the net on a flat and I got so many mullet. This is ideally what you look for when you're trying to throw a cast net for mullet, but obviously that's not always what happens, and this is a better representation of trying to catch some mullet. I hope you enjoyed this content, and please don't forget to subscribe and get your right angler nets, because they really are the easiest to open and the best on the market.